What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review, and today we're taking a look at the Titans Return Brainstorm. And yeah, this is the Walgreens exclusive Brainstorm, pretty hard to find. I managed to find mine by going on Walgreens.com at just the right time, and it was there, so check there. And don't pay too much for this guy, because honestly, let's just say right up front, I don't think he's worth it. Now, I mean, he kind of looks like Brainstorm, he's got the wings, but he is just a remold of the Blur toy, and it ends up making this guy definitely feel like more of a car with a weird front end than actual Brainstorm. I mean, I can clearly see, just like looking at this, like, I can see exactly how an RC could come from this, you know, lose this wing, do something a little different, a little remold of this wing maybe. I can totally see RC coming from this thing. So it just doesn't scream Brainstorm to me. I mean, it's okay enough of a retool, but it's not as much as I'd really like to see. That said, you know, it does scale with our Titans Returns guys. Here is our little headmaster here. I do forget his name. The paint is super sloppy on this one. You can see they kind of angled his head, so it's not really covering the whole face. At least the headmaster, though, is where it really counts, and that's what they did okay. He does have arms that are on little ball joints, but you know, when it's up at the top, it's pretty hard to get any type of motion out of it. He does have the typical Titans Return articulation, and of course he goes in the cockpit. For comparison, oh, and I forgot, when he's in the cockpit here, this thing, it doesn't really close all the way, so it, you know, it even more feels just like Blur, because it's more like a windscreen than it is an actual cockpit here. When this is out, it closes like that, but then he wouldn't be able to see outside. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't do it for me quite as much as I would hope it would. It definitely ends up feeling more car than spaceship. I mean, you can close it like that, but that doesn't work, so it kind of has to sit up like this to really make sense. That doesn't make as much sense. Going back, like, here's our G1 Brainstorm, and you have to pardon his aged floppy wings, because they should kind of be looking more like an X-Wing, sort of. Yeah, and like, you know, like the front end is fine, but they could have retooled this just a little bit more to actually give these types of wings, and I don't think I would have the same complaints I do. It's just, it feels so RC slash Blur from the back. I don't know, it's too much. It's too obvious what this is remolded from, in my opinion. And then we also have from the, just a couple years ago, I don't even remember what line this was from, but this is also Brainstorm. And like, you can see how much more they cared. Now, it doesn't really look like the G1, but it's pretty obvious what the character is supposed to be. So I don't really have faults with this one versus this guy. Definitely looks like a spaceship. Looks like a really elongated car. I mean, you can even like fold that up and even looks more car-like to me now. I don't know. It's okay. It's good because it scales with the Titans Return stuff, but that's kind of where my enjoyment ends. I forgot to mention he has this extra gun here. You can peg it in a couple different places. It's hard to get it on and off, though, as you can see, because it has a peg, and then it pegs into here, and then it has a hole to peg there, so you have to go straight on and off. It does look best there, in my opinion, but you could put it on the side, but since we only have one gun, that kind of looks dumb. No place to put it on the wings. I suppose you could make use of the hands if you wanted to, but again, you kind of need two guns to do that. No landing gear on this thing, just wheels, further kind of making it feel more car-like, I suppose. Well, I don't know. I guess Blur is kind of a hover car or something like that, so I don't know. I've never messed with the Blur mold. I don't know how the wheels are on it, or how extensive a retool this actually is. It just doesn't feel super extensive. So anyway, let's get this guy transformed. Take the headmaster out, fold this down in your typical fashion. I like to flip his head around because it seems like it secures in there better. And we'll just put that to the side. We'll come to the arms here, unpeg them from the side, fold them towards the top. We'll fold this piece down and fold the seat in, revealing the tiny little Autobot logo. Close that up. from here, we'll go ahead and might as well do the legs. Open these up and fold them all the way around, like so. Take this piece, rotate it in, not too far, otherwise it'll mess with closing this back piece. Kind of leave it like that and close it up. Drop the little foot down. Nothing to do on this side, just fold the foot down. You can bring this backpack all the way down now, which will fit into that little hole there if you have it correct. Click this into place, click this into place. Do whatever with the shoulder wings that makes you happy. I personally just like them like that. If you want yours angled back, you certainly can. Open up these panels here, which is nice that they actually included those panels, because so often they would have just left the hand like this. So it's nice that they actually seemed like they cared a little, at least with blur. There we go. And we'll take our headmaster and we'll plug it in. And yeah, I mean, in robot mode, it definitely feels Brainstorm to me. Like, I have no gripes about the robot mode. It looks the part that it's supposed to. So I don't have the same complaints for vehicle mode as I do, I don't have the same complaints about robot mode as I do vehicle mode. He holds his gun just perfectly. You can unpeg this too, which just kind of slides onto these pegs. And if you want, you can actually peg it onto his arm, like a shield or another set of blasters, whatever you want to do. It also has that gimmick where you can pop this out here, and I guess it'll peg into something, or someone can hold it and your headmaster can sit in here, such as pegging it onto Soundwave or blaster. Yeah, and your headmaster rides there, but you know, that's a gimmick that I will never ever put to use, so it just kind of hangs on the back or hangs off as a shield. Articulation, solid. Heads on that ball joint there, pretty nice. You get that full range. You do have a full range on the elbow or the shoulder, which is also, well, it's a swivel and then it's a swivel on the shoulder, so it's a good range of motion. Really no complaints on there. He's not going to get straight out to the side just because all this stuff kind of interrupts with it, but it's okay. For what you want it to do, I think it'll work. Bicep swivel, elbow swivel, again the traditional Hasbro hollows. Someone out there could be making buku bucks just filling all these toys in, where you can at least. Going down to the waist, he does have a waist swivel. It does look a tiny bit awkward, but it's not bad. Ball jointed thighs there with the upper thigh cut. The knee, just be careful of that leg opening because it doesn't really securely clip in place, and then no ankle rocker down there. But overall, I think he does get a pretty good range of motion for what he is. So just a quick comparison in size between the Titan's Return, whatever line this one was, and the G1. You can see he's the smallest of the bunch, but he certainly doesn't lack any personality. Definitely the more G1 looking one versus the IDW style. This is the better toy, but this is better if you're trying to get a kind of modern take on this guy. So let's get this guy back to his vehicle mode and let's get out of here. We're going to start by folding these back up, get them plugged in, rotate them to the side like this. We'll pop his headmaster out and get him sitting, and you know me, I love my headmasters driving their vehicles, so I always feel like their hands need to be forward, so we'll leave them like that. We will pop these shoulders, open this. It can be a little difficult, and pull that down just to get it out of the way. Open up these front panels, flip these, and I can never remember which side actually opens it first, so that's why I kind of looked at it weird for a second. But once we have them open, just take these and bring them on around, and you can see just how it's gonna fit here, and we can clip all this together just like that. Once we have that, go ahead and close this up, bring the front of the ship forward, We'll throw our little headmaster in here so we don't lose him. And we'll take our gun. And as I showed you before, plug it in like this. And you don't have to plug it all the way down. It's nice that the wheel actually does go above that point there. Once you have this, looks like I folded the hands the wrong way. But bring this back, and these side gray pieces will plug in here. And there we go. We got him back in his vehicle mode. Quick and easy, nice. I will say, I do overall enjoy this guy. I wish the vehicle mode was at least a little bit better, but it's not terrible. I really just kind of want, instead of this fin, like 2 fins coming off the side or something. Just a little more remolding on the legs would have made me happy. It's a shame he is the Walgreens exclusive, because you can get the rest of the 4 main Autobot Headmasters in retail, and this guy got to go to Walgreens. I wish it was like Blur or something else was the Walgreens exclusive. I will say I don't think he's worth paying too much for. I think if you watch Walgreens.com, especially with Christmas, and you maybe hit up your Walgreens with this Christmas season coming, like, you're probably going to find it. I wouldn't pay too much for it. That said, if you're in on the Titans return, he's probably a must-have. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.